Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl named Leela who lived in a small village in India. She was kind, smart, and brave, but she was also very curious about the world beyond her village. She loved to read books and learn new things, but her father, a poor farmer, could not afford to buy her many books. He only had one book, a collection of fairy tales, that he had inherited from his grandfather. Leela cherished this book and read it over and over again, dreaming of having adventures like the characters in the stories. One day, her father had to go to the city to sell some crops. He asked Leela what she wanted him to bring back for her. Leela asked for a new book, something she had never read before. Her father promised to find one for her and set off on his journey. On his way back, he got lost in the forest and stumbled upon a large castle. He was hungry and tired, so he decided to knock on the door and ask for some food and shelter. He waited for a long time, but no one answered. He pushed the door open and entered the castle. He was amazed by the grandeur and beauty of the place, but he also felt a strange sense of dread. He walked around the castle, looking for someone to talk to, but he only saw statues of people and animals. He wondered if they were once alive and had been turned into stone by some curse. He reached the library and saw a shelf full of books. He remembered his promise to Leela and decided to take one of the books as a gift for her. He picked up a book that had a picture of a rose on the cover and opened it. He was about to read the title when he heard a loud roar behind him. He turned around and saw a huge beast standing in front of him. The beast had the body of a lion, the head of a bull, and the wings of an eagle. He looked fierce and angry, and his eyes glowed red. "Who are you and what are you doing in my castle?" the beast demanded. I am sorry, sir. I'm a poor farmer and I got lost in the forest. I was looking for some food and shelter, and I found your castle. I didn't mean to intrude, I just wanted to take this book for my daughter. She loves to read and I wanted to make her happy. Please forgive me, I'll return the book and leave right away, the farmer stammered. You dare to steal from me? You have broken the rules of hospitality and trespassed on my property. You must pay for your crime. You will stay here as my prisoner for the rest of your life, the beast said. Please, no. Have mercy on me. I have a daughter who is waiting for me at home. She is my only family and I love her very much. Please let me go back to her, the farmer begged. The beast thought for a moment and then said, There is only one way I will let you go. You must bring your daughter here and take her place as my prisoner. She must agree to stay here with me willingly, or else you will both die. You have 1 week to do this, or I will hunt you down and kill you. Take this ring and put it on your finger. It will show you the way back to your village. When you are ready to return, just twist the ring and you will be transported back to the castle. Now go, and don't try to trick me. I will know if you do. The farmer was terrified and had no choice but to accept the beast's offer. He took the ring and the book and left the castle. He found his horse and rode back to his village as fast as he could. He reached his home and hugged Leela, who was overjoyed to see him. He gave her the book and told her everything that had happened. He asked her to forgive him and to go with him to the castle. He said it was the only way to save his life and hers. Leela was shocked and scared, but she also felt sorry for the beast. She wondered why he was so lonely and angry, and what had happened to him. She thought of the fairy tales she had read and wondered if there was a way to break the curse. She loved her father and did not want to lose him. She agreed to go with him to the castle and to stay with the beast. She packed a few things and said goodbye to her friends and neighbors. She put on the ring and twisted it, and she and her father disappeared. They reappeared in the library of the castle, where the beast was waiting for them. He looked at Leela and saw that she was beautiful and brave. He felt a pang of hope and regret in his heart. He thanked the farmer for keeping his word and told him to leave. He took Leela by the hand and led her to her room. He told her that she was free to explore the castle and do whatever she wanted, except for entering his room. He said he would come to see her every night at dinner and talk to her. He asked her to be his friend and to give him a chance. He said he was not as bad as he seemed, and that he had a reason for being the way he was. He said he would tell her his story someday, if she wanted to hear it. He then left her alone and went back to his room. Leela was scared and sad, but she also felt curious and intrigued. She decided to make the best of her situation and to try to get to know the beast. She explored the castle and found many wonders and secrets. She saw paintings and sculptures of beautiful people and places, musical instruments and songs, gardens and fountains, and of course, books and stories. She read the book that her father had taken for her and found out that it was a story about a prince who had been cursed by a witch for being selfish and cruel. The witch had turned him into a beast and had given him a rose that would wither and die when he turned 21. She had said that the only way to break the curse was to find someone who would love him for who he was, not for what he looked like, and to earn their love in return, before the last petal fell. Leela wondered if the beast was the prince in the story, and if she was the one who could break the curse. She also saw the statues of people and animals that the beast had mentioned. She realized that they were his friends and servants, who had also been cursed by the witch. She felt sorry for them and wished she could help them. She noticed that some of the statues had faint smiles on their faces, as if they were happy to see her. She wondered if they were still alive and aware of what was happening. She met the beast every night at dinner and talked to him. She found out that he was smart and funny, and that he had a lot of things in common with her. He told her about his life before the curse, how he had been a spoiled and arrogant prince who had cared only about himself and his pleasures. He had rejected the witch when she had come to his castle disguised as an old beggar woman, asking for shelter and food. He had laughed at her and thrown her out, not knowing that she was a powerful sorceress. She had then revealed her true form and cast the spell on him and his castle, saying that he had no love in his heart and that he deserved to be alone and unloved. She had given him the rose and the book, saying that they were his only hope of salvation. He had been angry and bitter at first, but he had gradually realized his mistakes and tried to change. He had read the book and learned about love and kindness, and he had hoped to find someone who would see past his appearance and love him for who he was. He had seen many travelers pass by his castle, but he had been too afraid to approach them, fearing that they would reject him or try to kill him. He had been lonely and miserable, until he had met Leela and her father. Leela listened to his story and felt compassion and admiration for him. She saw that he was not a monster, but a human being who had suffered and grown. She saw that he was gentle and caring, and that he treated her with respect and kindness. She began to enjoy his company and to look forward to seeing him. She also began to notice his beauty, not his ugliness. She saw the warmth in his eyes, the strength in his body, and the grace in his movements. She felt a connection and a spark between them, and she wondered if he felt it too. They spent many days and nights together, reading books, playing games, listening to music, and watching the stars. They laughed and joked, they shared their thoughts and feelings, they learned from each other and taught each other. They became friends, and then something more. They fell in love. One night, after a romantic dinner, the beast asked Leela a question that he had been wanting to ask for a long time. Leela, I have something to ask you. You know that I love you, and I hope that you love me too. But I also know that you miss your father and your home, and that you are not happy here. I want you to be happy, more than anything. So I have decided to let you go. You can return to your village and live your life as you wish. You can take the ring and the. Chapter 2. Leela was stunned by the beast's offer. She looked into his eyes and saw the love and pain in them. She felt a surge of emotion in her heart. She realized that she loved him too, and that she did not want to leave him. She also realized that he was the prince in the story, and that his time was running out. She saw the rose on the table and noticed that it had only one petal left. She knew that she had to act fast, or she would lose him forever. She took his hand and said, "No, I don't want to go. I want to stay here with you. You are my home, and you are my happiness. I love you, beast. I love you for who you are, not for what you look like. Please don't send me away. Please let me stay with you." The beast was overjoyed and relieved. He hugged her and kissed her, and said, "I love you too, Leela. You have made me the happiest creature in the world. You have broken the curse and set me free. Thank you, thank you, thank you." As he said these words, a bright light surrounded them. The beast felt a strange sensation in his body. He felt his fur and feathers fall off, his claws and teeth shrink, his wings disappear, and his face and limbs change shape. He became a human again, a handsome young man with dark hair and brown eyes. He looked at himself and then at Leela, who was also glowing. She felt a warmth and a tingling in her skin. She felt her clothes and hair change, becoming more elegant and beautiful. She became a princess, a stunning young woman with black hair and green eyes. She looked at herself and then at the beast, who was now a prince. They were both amazed and delighted by their transformation. They smiled and laughed, and hugged and kissed each other again. They heard a loud cheer and applause from outside. They turned and saw the statues in the library come to life. They were the prince's friends and servants, who had also been restored to their human forms. They were happy and grateful to see their master and his beloved. They congratulated them and welcomed them. They also thanked Leela for saving them and breaking the curse. They told her that they had been watching over her and the prince, and that they had been rooting for them. They said that they were proud of the prince for changing his ways and finding true love. They said that they were happy for them and wished them all the best. Leela and the prince were touched and moved by their words. They thanked them and invited them to join them. They all went to the dining hall, where a feast had been prepared. They ate and drank, and celebrated their new lives. They danced and sang, and enjoyed their company. They were all happy and free. The next day, the prince and Leela decided to visit Leela's father and tell him the good news. They took the ring and the book, and twisted it. They disappeared from the castle and reappeared in Leela's village. They found her father and hugged him. They told him everything that had happened, and showed him their new appearance. They also told him that they wanted to get married and live in the castle. They asked for his blessing and permission. Leela's father was shocked and amazed by their story. He was also overjoyed and relieved to see his daughter alive and well. He was happy to see that she had found love and happiness. He was also impressed by the prince and his change of heart. He gave them his blessing and permission, and said that he was proud of them. He also said that he would love to visit them and see their castle. He hugged them and wished them all the best. Leela and the prince thanked him and invited him to their wedding. They also invited their friends and neighbors, who had gathered around them. They were all curious and excited to see the prince and Leela, and to hear their story. They congratulated them and praised them. They also accepted their invitation and said that they would love to attend their wedding. Leela and the prince were happy and grateful for their support and kindness. They said goodbye to them and took the ring and the book again. They twisted it and disappeared, along with Leela's father. They reappeared in the castle, where their friends and servants were waiting for them. They greeted them and told them about their plans. They also asked them to help them prepare for their wedding. They agreed and said that they would do everything they could to make their wedding the most beautiful and memorable event ever. They all worked together and made the castle ready for the wedding. They decorated it with flowers and candles, they cooked and baked, they sewed and embroidered, they polished and cleaned. They also invited guests from all over the world, who were eager to see the prince and Leela, and to witness their miracle. They all arrived and filled the castle with joy and laughter. The day of the wedding came, and it was a glorious day. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the air was filled with love and magic. Leela and the prince were dressed in their finest clothes, and they looked radiant and beautiful. They walked down the aisle, hand in hand, and stood before the priest, who was ready to marry them. They exchanged their vows and their rings, and sealed their union with a kiss. The priest pronounced them husband and wife, and everyone cheered and clapped. They hugged and kissed their family and friends, and thanked them for being there. They then led them to the ballroom, where the party began. They danced and ate, and toasted and laughed. They were the happiest couple in the world, and they lived happily ever after.